Hi, my name is Debra R. Richardson of Debra R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to help you clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes so that you pay the right vendor. Now, this week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is vendor validations, a new number to validate. It is hot off the presses. So, what is that number? It is affiliated or comes from the System of Award Management or SAM. And if you are a government entity, then you are well aware of SAM and you should be well aware that you should be validating your vendors, at least making sure they are not on the SAM's exclusion list. And to do that, now there is a new number to search by, the Unique Entity Identifier or the UEI. This is again hot off the presses. It is as of April 4th, 2022, and it really is because I tried to look at it yesterday and the system sam.gov was down for maintenance, and today it is available and it is searchable. The fields have been updated, and you'll see that on the next slide. Now, the UEI is a 12-character alphanumeric ID. It is assigned by sam.gov, and it replaces that DUNS number that used to be that unique identifier on sam.gov. So now the DUNS number is out. You don't no longer search by that. You now search by the UEI. And what do I mean by that? So with vendor validations, and again, hopefully you're doing these, but if you are a buyer, if you as an organization or your company does is a receives federal funds, then you need to make sure that your vendor has not been added to the excluded parties list system, EPLS. I just call it the SAM exclusion list, but you need to make sure that vendors that you do business with as a government entity, those vendors or that vendor is not on that exclusion list. And so when you search by it now, hopefully you're already doing it. If it's not, it's never too late to start. But when you go in to search now, you now have a field, as you can see on the slide, little screenshot, you now have a field that says unique entity ID. And even if you are not a government entity, it's still one additional piece of data that you can key in to verify that your vendor is real. If they give it to you, you can ask for it. Sometimes it comes on the information that they give you. And so you want to just check it. If you have it, go ahead and check it. And if not, you can still, if you don't receive it and you know that this vendor does work for the government, you can still go on there and search for them by name, even if you don't have the UEI number. So it's a great additional tool if you do not receive federal funds. It's a great additional tool to make sure your vendor is real. And if you do receive federal funds, it is a requirement. And so now you have to use that UEI number instead of the DUNS number, but it is a requirement to make sure you're not paying vendors on that exclusion list. All right, so if you'd like more information on how to improve your vendor process, please go to my website, deborarrichardson.com, for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, regulatory fines, and just overall bad vendor data. So good luck, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified next Tuesday for the next Vendor Master File tip of the week.